and welcome to the Favorite Person podcast. My name is Alyxander Hall. Not only am I pretty insecure, I'm also your host for today. Uh, and I'm very lucky for my very first guest to have none other than the host of two of the best and two of my favorite podcasts right now in Review and the Headgum podcast, but also an unbelievably talented writer, actor, improv comedian. He's a Renaissance man of sorts and a Renaissance man of jorts. Geoffrey James, ladies and gentlemen.
That was a very high. That was high praise. That was undeserved high praise.
Yeah, I mean, you did script that for me, but
I did, and I will Venmo you, but I'm trying to and you can cut this out, but I just want to appear humble, basically, to the audience.
Yeah, I don't have editing software, is all.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to self-edit, which is not one of my strong suits. Fuck. Right. Can I swear? It's a little too late, but can I swear?
Of course.
Cool. All right, because I will say I'm gonna go blue. I'm gonna go blue right away. For
sure.
You look like a TikTok star with the hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't the trend to have the hair that's kind of really long on top, really short on the sides, and then it's kind of like that sort of thing?
Cool. So is this what the show is gonna be then?
It's your show. You said this is your first episode. I don't even know what the tone of the show is.
Me getting bullied is what it seems to be.
I'm coming at you live from Sugar and Falls, Ohio. Where in the world are you?
Corvallis, Oregon, home of
home of Block 15 Brewing.
Yeah, weird, so specific. What the fuck?
They have one of my favorite beers ever. It's the Sticky Hands IPA.
Okay, all right.
Have you never had it?
No, I'm a past blue ribbon kind of guy. Believe
it's
it or
so
not.
Close to your house, I have to assume, and it's
apartment, and still probably not. I'm pretty
home.
Deep, but
can you not do it the disservice of calling it an apartment?
Yeah, no.
You've made a house a
2
home.
weeks ago.
You've made it your own. I can see with the twinkly lights in the background.
Mm-hmm. You're in a closet, right?
This is my childhood bedroom, as I've said before on a couple podcasts. So this is, people keep saying, I sort of Harry Pottered it in a way.
Meaning?
I was shoved into the room by my uncle.
Have you seen the movie or read the books even?
I didn't know that they had adapted it into a film. That's my weekend now. They did all 7?
I mean, yeah, and that's syndication right there, which is, I mean, I don't know how much you know about the business. I'm
you're
in a movie, right? Once?
No.
Once? No.
What you're at Oregon State?
Yeah, I mean, in the area.
So you don't go to the school.
I dropped out. Okay, I would implore you not to bring it up, but
I didn't. How could I have known? You said Oregon State, by the way. You said Oregon State. You brought it up, and I'm just swinging back to that.
I went to Central Oregon Community College. Couldn't cut it. Fucking left.
Couldn't cut it.
I gave it my all.
That school is way too hard. You couldn't cut it. What is the show, man? You said that you're starting a show. You said this was your first episode you'd like to have me on. You look sad. You look upset at how it's going so far, and I wanted it to be a good product. So what's the first segment?
I'm not sad. I'm just pissed is all.
You're wearing blue light blocking glasses, but I'm gonna go blue, and your glasses cannot block that.
Yeah.
So.
I'm really quick, sorry, we can cut this out, but those alt-right talking points you DM'd me, there's no way we can use those.
I would very much so for you to keep this in. Basically, I want Steve Bannon is being wrongfully accused, and I want to go on record saying that this fraud that they're saying that he committed was actually just a ploy to build the wall. So I don't know where it got lost there. 25 billion? I would give him 25 billion if it meant that I could help him out in any way.
To build a wall.
I don't know. Like, it
Yeah,
doesn't
okay, so
fucking
you're
matter. Like,
uninformed.
just
Okay.
any, it doesn't, yeah. I
Right.
read an
So
article,
it's blind support.
blind optimism in a way. So what I'll do
Yeah.
is I'll kind of throw my support behind the first name I read on Google News. And today it was Steve Bannon. Yesterday it was Kamala Harris. So I don't know where I fall.
Yeah.
I'm for the Republic. Like, I don't want the Union to be gone. So am I a Republican? But I also like voting. So am I a Democrat? Who knows?
You like voting?
I love voting,
What's
man.
your
I was
favorite
looking.
part?
It's the waiting in line that gets me every time. Because what I'll do is I'll sort of start conversations with everybody around me and sort of sow seeds of not only division but of doubt within their minds, trying to get them to kind of second guess their choices. Because obviously you show up to the polling, but you already know who you're going to vote for. I try to get people to last minute change their vote so that when they go home, they're kind of like, fuck, why did I let that guy convince me that I should have voted for David Rio for city council?
Who?
David
Absolutely
Ryu.
who?
He's an LA city councilman, and I'm not his biggest fan. Let me tell you that. Hashtag Nithya Rahman for District 7.
That's insane that you mentioned that, actually, because that actually brings us to our first segment, which is
No way.
Top 10 LA councilmen
Are you
by
kidding
Geoffrey
me?
James.
There's
I didn't
only
script
7
this.
of them.
You mean that?
Yeah, there just
I
can't
don't
be
live
10.
in the city, obviously, and
You live in
don't right now.
Corvallis.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you haven't had
LA
a Block
Council.
15.
No. I'm 20, first of
Unbelievable.
all.
The first time I had a Block 15, I was 19.
Holy shit. That's illegal. I'm absolutely, like, reporting you.
Well, it's not going to go anywhere because I'm going to delete my side of the files. And then I'm going to somehow get into the back end of Zoom and delete
My
the
dad's
main
in the
file.
Senate is all.
Your dad's in the Senate or the state Senate? Because be honest.
I mean, he left when I was young. I don't really know what he's been up to.
So your dad left you when you were young, and now you kind of do mental gymnastics to make it seem fine by thinking that he's in the Senate?
He's obviously up to something important, right? Or he wouldn't have just left. He's busy is all.
I don't know what to tell you, man. Your dad sounds like a piece of shit.
Yeah. That actually brings us to our first segment. Why is my dad such a piece of shit?
Not every segment can be the first segment. We're already like 9 segments in.
I didn't plan any, so okay.
This is unbelievable. You didn't plan any segments?
I have questions if you'd like to hear them.
Sure. Let's do some questions.
Okay. Shit, I was bluffing.
Bluffing with
Yeah.
questions? You said this was an interview show.
Dude, I didn't think you were going to call me out on it, okay?
I don't think you thought I was going to call you at all. You sent me the Zoom 20 seconds before we hopped on, and you seemed floored that I'm asking you to come up with a structure for this show.
It caught me off guard, for sure, but...
You had days to plan this.
I do know how, like, okay, first of all, do you have any idea how fucking long the Wikipedia page for how the fuck do you pronounce it?
Chagrin Falls.
Chagrin Falls, Ohio. Thank you. Exactly right.
You didn't have to read the Wikipedia page for my hometown.
I did, the whole thing.
I know.
Bill Watterson, ever heard of him?
I do. I have.
Yeah.
Creator of Calvin and Hobbes, born and raised.
You really know your shit, James. I can see.
You don't make it out of Chagrin Falls off the mean streets of this hamlet upon Hunting Valley, Ohio, without knowing the very short list of famous alums. It also includes Lee Unkrich, who directed Toy Story.
Holy shit. Absolutely, how dare you?
Yeah.
That is pretty impressive, though, considering.
No, but in all seriousness, that's actually really fucking cool.
If we can, I'm all about jokes and like comedy and all that. I'm a comedian for sure, but if we can just like get serious for a second, that's
sure, right?
Pretty sick.
It's fine.
It's time. That's toys and fine.
Because of Toy Story, or was that in regards to Bill Watterson?
I have a speech impediment, and I am begging you not to bring it up.
You bring it up. Every time you beg me not to bring something up, it's something you've already brought up. You're drinking straight gin. What is that? It's not only is it 1:45 my time, it's what, 11:45 your time?
I don't know. I'm a little too trash to fucking read
Right.
Analog 10:44 local.
10:44, even
Yeah.
earlier.
I'm not even awake usually, but rise and shine for your little diva ass. Here I am.
It's a weekday. I have 2 podcasts to do after this. I couldn't not do it this
Save the
early.
best for first, I see.
It's my most highest energy. I'm soaring off a nitro cold brew.
I actually got into cold brew after hearing you guys talk about it.
What was the
Kirkland
fallout?
brand. Oh, sorry. I live by a Safeway is all.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty cool. Walking distance.
Is it, or
For most people,
for you?
I ride a scooter.
Right, so not walking distance.
It could be. I just don't walk. I scoot.
Oh my God.
Razor or otherwise.
Everything about you is analog. Analog wristwatch, analog scooter.
That actually does bring me to my first question.
No way. This can't be the first question. We're 11 minutes in.
You recently started or talked about starting a podcast about watches. First of all, what watch are you wearing right now? I saw a little something.
This is, I pull out a Royal Oak Tourbillon. No, it's the G-Shock DW5600 All Systems Go NASA edition.
Oh, you were talking about this one, weren't you?
Yeah, this is the newest pickup. It's fine. You have the Old Glory on the what is that? The watch collector, the watch holder. It says national. It's supposed to look like a spacesuit. They said. It's been nice. The loom here. Let me turn my brightness down all the way.
Okay.
The loom is like it shows the moon in the background. Now I don't know if you're actually a watch guy. If not, then I just embarrassed myself.
No, dude, not at all. Big watch guy. I like time as much as anyone. You know, it's important to know. It's important to tell. I can't read, so.
Right, there it is. Yeah. I was waiting for you to sort of end it with a confession.
I was hoping you'd interrupt me with some sort of words of encouragement, hopefully, something nice. Or...
There's none to give, because so far this has been a train wreck, and I don't know, like, there's no saving it. I don't even know if you're going to edit together.
I'm actually not recording, so don't worry about it.
Are you kidding me?
Sorry.
This is just a conversation, then.
I just conned you into spending the better part of your afternoon talking to me.
What does conned mean?
Huh?
Conversationed?
Oh, yeah.
Forget it.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I might start a watch podcast. Me and my buddy Tucker have been watch guys
Carlson,
for a while. It's obviously not Tucker Carlson, famous Fox pundit.
Yeah. Infamous, actually.
Infamous for sure. Maybe I should just do the rest of this like with my eyebrows as furrowed as possible at the simplest questions that you ask to make you look like a dumbass, even though I am. But yeah, we might start
wearing a bow tie, just not where we can see it.
Wearing a bow tie on a Bowflex. I wanted to get a pump for this show because I thought this was dumbbells, but I was wrong. I might start a watch podcast. That's pretty good content.
Yeah,
for this show
for sure.
I'm toying with the idea of talking about timepieces while having guests on that are dime pieces.
Sounds like. First of all, sounds like I'm invited. Second of all, sounds like I just got an exclusive take. So, all in all, this whole show has been a success.
This is the worst first guest you could have. No one gives a shit about me. The show is new. This isn't you're not gonna get any press. You should have gotten John Hamm. You should have gotten John Hamm for sure.
You think I didn't try, or?
I don't
Obviously,
know.
That was my first choice.
It's always that Ham was the first choice. Have you ever done a ham for Ham, but not in regards to Hamilton?
Yeah, more so just like impersonating.
You send a honey-baked ham to John Hamm's agency and just see what happens.
I was detained, obviously.
Right. So. Of course. At state lines.
Yeah. It was a mail bomb, but...
And it was a male bond, as in it was a bromance of sorts, and you couldn't get past it. You had to send him pork. Do you have another question?
Fresh out, actually. Sorry.
What is the show?
This is the show. Okay, here's the thing. Like, I had so little structure going into this that this absolute fucking travesty that we're both experiencing right now is pretty much formulating the concept of a podcast for years to come.
It's unbelievable that the next guest is gonna have to do this same dog and pony
Yeah,
show.
going forward, I'm gonna make my living off of making micro celebrities uncomfortable, obviously.
What a log line. All right, I have a question.
Sorry, what was that? I lost you for a second.
Oh, I have a question for you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What's your dream guest on this show?
Fucking speaking to him right now in the flesh.
It
That's
can't be.
Yeah, well, you'd be surprised. I mean, that is a good question. I just, you have no idea what I'm about, obviously, but
You know nothing about you.
Yeah,
You didn't
yeah, no,
introduce yourself at all over the
for
DM
sure.
or over the
Yeah,
podcast.
I
You have a
thought it
fisheye
would.
lens. You're in Corvallis, Oregon.
I told
You
you
were-
I was pescatarian. You didn't respond well to it, so I thought I'd cut off the information there.
I was a pescatarian for 2 years, and then my mercury levels tested higher than a kite, so I had to kind of introduce red meat back into the old diet.
I have a nice little life
Are you iron
hack.
deficient? Are you iron deficient? Sorry to interrupt, but you look a little pale in a way.
One sec. I just
Kidding me?
iron supplement, obviously. I'm seeing stars right now. I sat up too fast, but anyway, the life hack, if you'll let me fucking finish.
You started that sentence in 14 minutes ago. What's the life hack?
Oh shit, dude. I really, honestly, like, I felt like I was killing this until that little sequence right there. Like,
just
that,
now?
Yeah, that threw me off.
You didn't have a perfect game going until just then.
I was Doc Ellis, high on acid, standing on the mound, throwing the game of my fucking life.
You asked me one question. It was that I might start a watch podcast.
Yeah,
This is supposed to be an interview show,
I mean, call me schizophrenic if
you're
you
schizophrenic.
Must, but okay.
You hear voices. It has to be.
I heard applause in my head when I asked the question. That's all I was getting at.
Of course. Because you don't have a soundboard that was, and I didn't hear applause. I heard this like long pause, and you were kind of looking above your webcam.
I have a SoundCloud if you'd care to listen.
You hit play on a song. It's the worst rap ever. This isn't even rhythmic. It's let alone rhyming.
It's like a Drake cover, but I can't sing and there's no beat.
It's a Drake cover, but every time he rhymes, you change it to a synonym that doesn't rhyme.
Started from the bottom. I'm
They don't know.
Yeah, I don't know a synonym for here.
Here.
Yeah.
Hither
and thither. I lost my thesaurus in a bet.
What was the bet? I hate that I'm asking.
That I own 2 thesauruses. Only had the one. Lost the bish, obviously.
Someone bet you that you had 2 thesauruses, and you took the bet knowing full well that you only had 1 thesaurus. And also the stakes were that if you only had 1, he gets it.
You're going to notice a theme with me that I like to call people's bluffs.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the name of the show, by the way? You haven't even mentioned the name to me or on the show. You haven't said welcome to blank at all.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Sorry. I browned out.
I want you to guess the name of the show.
The Hall Hour.
I'm going to have to rename it now. So
you said guess. You were going to tell me if it was right. I said something, and you immediately are going to change it to that?
No, you nailed it. Like, that's what it's called. But I feel like if it's that easy to guess, the whole thing is kaput,
Sorry, I can't help but notice you have like a wall of retainers behind you. There's just like, each one has a year. It seems like you collect them like Jordans.
I thought it was Invisalign. Turns out
it's obviously not Invisalign.
Invisalign. I just wanted my teeth to be nice for the show. Is that
No,
too much
it's
to
it
ask?
shouldn't be for the show. It should just be for life. Your teeth are great, but I'm just saying maybe throw the retainers out. Don't keep it from like 2007 and put it on a wall.
Excuse me for being a little sentimental, man. Like in this fucking throwaway culture that we all have to live in, I just kind of feel like
You're not taking a
something
stand.
sacred.
That's not what you should make sacred.
What do you collect? Watches?
Yes.
I heard you were starting a podcast with your
That
friend. Do you want to
you
talk about
already
that for a
mentioned
second?
it. We already talked about it for a second.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have any other questions? This is an interview show.
I didn't expect you to be so receptive, is all.
You
You've just
mentioned
been such a great guest
Sugar
so
in
far.
Falls, Ohio. You mentioned
I
an
mispronounced
offhand
it.
remark. Sure. You mentioned an offhand remark I made on a podcast once about starting a different podcast that I might not even do.
Shouldn't talk
And
about things that you're not going to see through to the end, you know? If anything, that's like a lesson for you.
Are you kidding me? You're teaching me?
I'm a bit of a pod god on the day, and I just thought I could be of assistance, you know? I like you, and I want to see your career further, so...
Sure. What else? What other advice do you have?
There's this little ditty I like to call Bitcoin. And honestly, dude, I think it's going to be huge. And
It already is huge. It's prohibitively expensive because it's already huge.
yeah, I mean, I can't afford it yet, but I'm just saying,
Obviously.
like, the show's going to blow up. People are going to respond to me and my quirky, you know, nature, really. And then I'll have my first Bitcoin and, you know, I won't get evicted. So I have that hanging over my head right now. So if we could just like keep up the laughs, because I need to get paid for this or I'm fucked.
This is not a good get rich quick scheme. Podcasting is a very slow curve, I feel.
And like, just annually, how much do you make?
I obviously can't
What's in your savings?
say. I obviously
just
don't want
pull
to
up
say.
who do you bank with?
At least that's the biggest thing to give away.
Who do you
at
bank
least.
with?
I bank with Chase and Capital One because Capital One has the highest APY.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's smart. They have a mobile app, right? That's what I was getting at with this.
Yeah, they have a mobile app.
Cool. I feel like, okay, just hear me out.
Beyond fucked. They all have mobile apps. What bank doesn't have a mobile app?
I assume Wells Fargo, because as far as I understand, it's all like horse and buggy.
Which is not far.
So.
It's not far. That's their logo. That's not how they deliver cash. That's not how you kind of make a withdrawal. They deliver it by horse.
You go to an ATM, you put in your PIN.
Good so far. Good
12
so far.
Business days later, a man in a carriage from the 1840s. Let's say.
Wrong. That's where
really,
you're wrong.
really.
You had it until then.
Okay. Can you walk me through it then, or because I feel like
you go to an ATM to withdraw money. Great. That's what you do. You enter your PIN and your card and then your PIN. Great. That's what everyone does. The cash comes out instantly. That's what ATM stands for, automatic transfer machine.
Teller machine, actually, but
fuck me. So you know. So you know it's not.
Well, I don't have Wells Fargo, so yeah. I have Chime.
Yeah, what do you... Chime?
Yeah, it's a mobile bank. I'm a millennial and I'm hip.
Capital One's a mobile bank, technically. I mean, they have those the Capital
Physical
One
buildings,
coffee shops, yeah, but only in coastal elite cities. So when I go home, I obviously can't make that huge withdrawal that I need to do to kind of pay my old man back.
For
just years of private school. He's kind of like, look, this is an investment. You got to pay me back. He's looking for an ROI. The interest rate that he has on my house is 18%. So I, you know, like you were saying, eviction notices and stuff. For me, I don't get to spend money on things that I enjoy. This is a knockoff that I actually made out of ceramics.
Mm-hmm.
You should see me on the wheel.
A fortune? Or...
I wish, man. That would be
pretty unfortunate, seems like.
I don't have good luck, if that's what you're asking.
You did host a game show, though, once. Mobile, to be fair.
True.
You want to talk about that?
A hefty payday, to be sure, went straight to my dad's pockets.
Yeah.
Because of my secular education.
Right.
So
what do you mean secular education?
Don't say right and then ask me to clarify.
Sorry, I wanted to move on, but it just okay.
I'm meaning not Catholic. Although I wore the mini skirt, to be sure, balls
Yeah,
hanging out. Have you ever seen one of those kind of big ass trucks? You're in rural Oregon almost.
almost. Yeah, I guess I have.
Those testes, those bull's balls hanging off the back of the bed, right?
You could have. I don't know, man. Yeah. Why is that like the first example of balls you think of, though?
Because that's what I would look down during AP physics,
And
what
you look
have
like a
you.
truck. It looked
And
like the
I
bed
look
of a truck.
my ass kind of protrudes out from my body like a pickup truck
A
flatbed,
wagon, I know.
a
Yeah. You talk
wagon in a
about it a
way.
lot. Yeah.
Often I had to get
Yeah.
it in, but
Oh my
my
God.
point was that it would be so warm in the building that my testes, for lack of a better term, my two little planets down there would kind of hang down past the length of the miniskirt. So my point being that they were just out, high and dry, out to play. Lo and behold, and people lo and beheld.
You you had your dick out at a public school. I don't I don't really know what else to tell you. Like,
Secular. It was secular, so it
yeah.
wasn't against God's wishes.
Um,
Do you have a
as
minute to talk
opposed
about the Church of Scientology?
always, brother. Why do you think I showed my debit card earlier? I want you to know
How
that I
did,
was ready.
how about you spend $250,000 on books?
You had me at $250,000 because
Yeah.
honestly, like what um, I invested in. I brought a Bitcoin earlier as sort of like a little, like subconscious, try and get you to think about. I invested in Bitcoin at like the ground level, so I am like
No, you didn't.
inadvertently like
You absolutely did not. Yeah, I know what happened.
independently
You
wealthy for
convinced
the rest of my
yourself that you
life.
did. You convinced yourself that you did, and you just like have a Word doc that says 1 Bitcoin or something that you printed out. You don't have Bitcoin. There's no way. You
Well,
wouldn't be talking to me if you had a Bitcoin before they blew up into however much they're worth. You'd
I,
be.
I'm just saying that like my basically once my Bitcoin balance reaches, I'm flustered now because you're
Yeah.
trying to,
Yeah.
yeah, just hear me out for fuck's sake. Once my Bitcoin balance reaches a certain level, right, my dad's gonna come back from the Senate, and
Not. He's
I'm
not in the
gonna.
Senate. Your dad's a piece of shit, man. He's trailer trash, living somewhere high off meth. He left you because it doesn't matter. Your family's in shambles, and your dad's
Yeah.
playing Scrabble
Uh-huh. I, I was playing Words with Friends the other day,
with
but
friends, or right.
yeah, I was just playing words.
Got it.
That's basically where I open up a Google Doc and sort of type
It's
like
not
two
a game.
separate. Hear me out. I type two separate columns. It's like I'm having a conversation with someone.
Yeah,
That's
that's
fun,
writing. That's not a game.
huh? You
I
want just one
could
more
not
time?
be more clear. I could not. Did you
Well,
not hear
no,
me, or do you not
no, no.
understand?
I heard you perfectly clear. These are.
It's just
I
writing. What
bought
you're
these
describing is
headphones with my Bitcoin. These are high quality, but
so
no, I actually bought like actually nice headphones explicitly for this, but I didn't like the way they made my hair look, so I'm wearing these $5 headphones I bought at
yeah,
Safeway.
you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Safeway. There it is again. Do you have other
I
questions?
work at a Safeway. No,
You,
no. Yeah, I do actually. Fuck.
Amir,
Again,
on the subject of Bitcoin. Sorry to digress. Amir
this
convinced me to
whole
buy.
podcast has been a digression. So go ahead.
Amir convinced me to buy Navcoin in like 2018 because he was like convinced it was going to be the next thing. I spent $750, or I put $750 into Navcoin when they were worth, I think, $1,000, and now they're worth $220.
Holy shit.
So I lost like $600 plus.
And what was it, Amir's company or
I mean, his company was what convinced me to get it. And I texted him the other day. I was like, you remember when you convinced me to invest in Litecoin or Navcoin? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, well, I lost almost $600. And he felt really bad, but
yeah. I don't
whatever.
like seems like a great guy for sure. Pretty funny,
He's
pretty
kind of a piece of shit.
yeah, for sure. I just didn't want to
A
say. I'm
nefarious.
hoping one day I can have him on because I mean I know you'll send a good word for me because of how much you're enjoying this experience right now. But
If he asks, I'll say you should do it.
Holy shit, you mean that?
If he
I'm
asks.
gonna be. He's not gonna ask.
He's
He's not gonna
gonna
open the message.
That's my point.
It's fine, but like I don't want to ask too much of you. You know, I don't want to be like inappropriate or like violate any sort of professional relationship that you have. But
You
like, if
already
I
asked me to help your sister get into USC. You said, "Hey, can you write your professor?" You said, "Hey, just like a letter of recommendation." I said, I don't even think that's going to help her that much." You said, "B, it'll really mean a lot to you." Which, by the way, I
yeah,
still barely know who you are. So it's like, what will mean a lot to you is kind of irrelevant in the grand scheme of things.
look, man, you gotta fucking help us. She, you know how much film school
I
means
don't gotta help.
you know how much film school means to Kayla. You
I have
can't.
no idea what it means to her. Does she want to be a filmmaker?
She wants to be a camera. If
She
that counts.
wants to be a camera. You mean a photographer?
No, like a red. You know, like the fisheye as the day she was born.
Is your sister a fish? I'm very confused.
An aspiring camera slash salmon.
So let me get this straight. Your dad left you when you were young. You caught a trout, and that seems to be what you consider your sister. And you've kind of ascribed dreams to the fish, and that she wants to eventually be a Leica.
So you're gonna write your professor, or are we just gonna have
No
this
way!
shitty back and forth?
Absolutely no way. You're
Okay.
not hearing anything I'm saying back.
No, I'm
to
hearing
I'm
you
trying to point out.
loud and clear,
Trying to
frankly,
point
for
out.
lack of a better word.
Just kind of acting as an oral mirror, just kind of bouncing things back at you, what you say, to hear how insane it is.
Okay, so obviously
Yeah.
you didn't read the list of unapproved words for the podcast because oral mirror was at the top, and of course you used
Never
it.
sent it. You never sent it. You keep saying, obviously you did this. Obviously, check what? Check what? My
your
email?
Yahoo, your
My
Yahoo.
Yahoo.
Account. Obviously,
I don't have
your
a Yahoo.
account.
I obviously don't have a Yahoo.
I've seen you when you were younger. That haircut absolutely had a Yahoo account, and I won't hear any different.
I almost have that hair right now. In fact, we almost both do.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, in solidarity, we
Right.
can. I'm also a pop punk fan, somewhat like yourself. So,
What's your band of choice?
these days, you ever heard of a
Jackson
little?
Brown?
Yeah. I don't like other songs. I have one playlist. It's that 47 times. It's on repeat.
Why don't you just put it on repeat? You don't even need me to make a playlist. Just put the song on repeat once.
They don't get the revenue if you do that, actually.
Don't worry about Jackson Brown's cash.
I just don't want him, like, I know what it's like to worry about cash, and I don't want that feeling for anyone I care about, you know?
Let alone Jackson Brown. Your
God
priorities are so fucked.
I just want to make sure Jackson Brown has more than enough to go off of when I'm gone from this fucking planet.
I want Jackson Brown to have a little walking around cash.
Yeah, for a rainy day, you know. His daughter needs a nice pair of Nikes for a treat. That's on me. I have that.
That's bon me. You're gonna say your favorite pop punk band.
You ever heard of Pup?
I have. Headgum producer Mars loves Pup.
Really? Yeah.
They listen to All Fantasy Everything or something.
Yeah. I think I saw that Twitter interaction. Pretty neat,
right.
But yeah, fucking
nice.
Yeah, they're pretty solid. I don't know. Maybe I'll whip you up a little pop punk playlist when we're done with this thing.
Sure.
Cool. You could have pretended to be interested. I mean, I'm obviously not going to do it either way, but like just for the sake of the show, you know, like the friendly banner thing.
For
like,
the sake of the show, you asked me my annual income. You talked about going to an ATM and then a wagon showing up about 2 weeks later. Nothing we've done so far has been for the sake of the show.
First of all, the fact that you're upset with someone like unnecessarily bringing up a wagon on a podcast is pretty rich. But, no, you brought up USC when talking about my fucking halibut sister or whatever. and I did want to talk about that, actually, as somewhat of a aspiring filmmaker myself, as you can tell by the production quality of this little film we're making right now.
It's not a film, but yeah. I didn't mean to throw you off. Every time I interject with something, it really throws you off.
Yeah, I can't take it, obviously.
Kind of swallow this anger.
I'm pissed. I don't know, dude. I was nervous enough, and then you're so much more abrasive than I realized.
What are you saying?
I don't know.
Christ.
Fuck.
Film school?
Yeah. What's that like? No. So I'm all over the place, but very somewhat recently, you put out a short film with Riley.
Correct.
Called Good Morning, which was super great. Big fan of that. I'll link it down below because I know you need the support.
No one's seen it. Actually, I'd love for more people to see it.
Yeah, no, it genuinely is super. I'm sorry, I'm struggling to find it. It's super fine. No. I was on your Vimeo after watching it, and I've seen like everything you put up on there, and there's some like super old shit on there. Yeah. I think was the Yo-Yo documentary the first thing you have on there?
Yeah, that was the first film.
Yeah,
with the most sarcastic air quotes you can put around it that I ever did. So that was an interesting chapter in my life that's sort of come around and helped me out comedy-wise. The fact that I used to be a semi-professional yo-yoer. I can't even say professional because I wasn't sponsored by a brand.
Yeah.
And that's when you know you're really a virgin. Yeah.
Even in the context of professional yo-yo, I'm a dork.
Exactly. Even they didn't want me. But yeah, no, growing up I wanted to be like a writer director. I wanted to be Judd Apatow basically. And then they stopped making comedy features, and I started like doing school plays and stuff, and realized I just wanted to do comedy. So that's my film shit. If that's I don't know if that was the question really or not.
Pretty much. It was so like loosely threaded to you. I basically just told you that I've seen your Vimeo and it was fun. And I wanted your thoughts on that.
The transcript of this episode will have no question marks.
No.
All you've done is tell me things.
It's an interview series where I make people respond to statements.
That's actually a pretty good hook.
Yeah. That being said, considering you're a filmmaker, and we can like cut this out or talk about it off camera, but I am looking for like a startup investment.
I'm not going to answer this on air.
No.
You really are cornering me.
Yeah.
Startup for what? To start a company?
I want a second fisheye lens.
Well, how much is that? $50?
In this economy? You're out of your fucking mind.
Don't know. It's probably cheaper in this economy.
Actually, no, that is an interesting point. I went to buy a webcam for this and other shits I'm planning on doing, and ever since like with the pandemic, I don't know if you're familiar, if you realize that we're sort of in this like whole debacle, as it were, but it's like, no, you seem confused.
What do you mean, like the fact that hot girl summer is almost over?
Fuck.
I wouldn't call it a debacle. It's kind of just a sunset on the season in a way.
And have you noticed like
my nose starts bleeding? Yeah, so you have the virus, obviously.
Yeah, you tested positive. You flew
I tested positive for
country.
negative. I tested positive in a certain sense for negative.
Yeah, you tested positive, and your loved ones feel negatively about you.
Yeah, but they also tested. They feel negative of testing positively. I don't know if I'm being clear or not. I'm a super spreader.
There it is, right?
You know that in the news there was like almost 200 kids got sick on the first day in Georgia of school.
Of course, yeah.
Let's just say I took a little field trip.
Okay.
I was down. Me, the devil, went down to Georgia, and I kind of infected a bunch of tweens, for lack of a better term.
Weren't tweens; they were children, but
yeah, but tweenie boppers then. Tweenie boppers.
Yeah.
I pushed a toddler down the stairs, which isn't necessarily.
So
a
you didn't even
virus.
infect the fucking kids. You assaulted them.
I wasn't positive for the window that I was there. You didn't let me finish. I wasn't contagious down there, but what I did do was make sure that, you know, the guys who kind of had like gunk in their teeth and eyes, like the people who clearly don't wash their hands, oh, those are probably the usual suspects. And I kind of got them around crowds and they spread it. Now, I was immune because I had the antibodies from having it a week prior, Richard or otherwise. Next question. I can't believe.
Sorry, I don't.
This is what the show is.
Yeah, it's my show. How the fuck do you think I feel? It's not even that like I'm not having fun. Like I'm enjoying this. This is a good time. But like,
of course, no, sure.
This is like the theme now. Like I have to keep this up
This
with
is
people
what the
who aren't
tone is.
completely fucking insane. Like I'm gonna have the lead singer of like a mid-level band on here or something.
You should get Pup on the show.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'll email them. I'll tell them Headgum sent me. I'm a bit of a rogue employee, as it were.
Right.
Yeah, I am like listing you on my tax forms though. So I mean, like
That. Yeah,
could,
I'm not your employer. You're not making any money from this.
Fine, but I am like. I shouldn't talk
Not
about
saying
this
anything.
Yeah.
Everything you've said so far you've just said I shouldn't talk about this or I should cut this out. It's gonna end up just being a monologue of me.
It's gonna be a Monchi log once I hire Ferris.
What a weird reference. You're starting the show with the nichest reference possible. An audio engineer at a comedy podcast network that already people don't really know about. Yeah. Ferris Monchi, and you just made a pun on his name. First episode.
I feel like you could have laughed harder as well.
This is it's
just
the disbelief
is how I feel. You know, like I have
next
you on.
Question. Okay. Absolutely, next question.
Yeah, that's fair. That's more than fair. Snap your neck, right?
I was hoping that would be the one that finally kills me.
Yeah. God. This is going so well. It's hard to sort of wrap my head around the success that this has been. But you mentioned Headgum. Okay, enough with the eyes. More than enough with the eyes. They tell a story, and I don't appreciate it. Okay, he's so mad. He's pissed at me. He hates me.
This next question I'm going to be angry for.
Okay, all right. Such a weird thing to preempt. But you mentioned Headgum. You got your start there with an internship. Okay, all right, just let me finish. Please, you can be pissed, but this is the second question I've gotten now in the space of 45 minutes. Like, you could at least be like neutral tone for it.
Fine, I'll be neutral for this question.
Great. Yeah, so you got started there with an internship. Was that while you were still in school? You, of course you.
Yeah, that was my first internship after my freshman year of college, and then so I interned there, and I did this writing fellowship at Funny or Die. That was an interesting time because they fired everybody halfway through the fellowship.
That's not Funny or Die.
No, I walked in. And all the writers were packing their things into those really sad like cardboard boxes, and it was like they all looked up at me and they started cracking up, and they were like, "What are you gonna do?"
Holy shit! That sounds like a Funny or Die video.
Right. So yeah, that was
like
like
a TikTok notification. If you can just give me a minute.
Are you kidding me?
I'm blowing up is all.
You can read the notification and let me answer the question. Nothing for that.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I entered at Headgum that summer, and then they hired me that fall to start doing these sketch videos, which was like, I didn't understand why, but I was like, of course I'd do that. Like, I remember Jake and I were climbing one night after work that like summer.
Climbing or just
no, like jungle gyms. We were basically like a public park there, and we kind of scared the kids away.
Yeah.
But and he was talking to me about how like they'd love to do videos again, and I was like, that'd be awesome. Like, and I was thinking to myself, maybe I can apply for that after I graduate college. And then like 3 weeks later, they called me and were like, "Hey, we want to do this." And so yeah, we did that every week for like 3 years, and then Riley and I started getting some other jobs and doing some work outside of the network, and then we started our podcast, and then a pandemic hit, so then basically this year we haven't been doing the videos every week, but I'd like to get back to doing them semi-regularly once we move into the new office. But yeah, long answer to a short question. I started at Headgum and I'm still there for some reason.
Nice.
Despite a lot of the things that are fireable that I've said.
Yeah, very like right of
sensitive
center,
information
like,
that I've
yeah,
outed
doxing your
publicly.
boss was a
I did
pretty
do that.
significant
I
portion.
doxed Marty on
Yeah,
several
his
occasions,
full address, social security. Yes.
which he's had to move, but he loves his current place. So now I kind of can lord that power over him. I'm like, you want to stay at the current
Yeah,
place?
where's that at, by the way?
It's at 1154 Alvarado Street.
Good neighborhood, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm imagining the price on that place is going to be dropping pretty soon, so I might be getting out of Corvallis sooner than I thought.
The bubble's bursting, so to speak.
Yeah. So you mentioned Riley. Sort of jumped ahead of my question, but sorry. That was my absentee father speaking. No, she started working there after you, right? Like,
Yeah, she started interning a year after I started doing the videos, and we did some videos that summer when she was interning, and then the following summer she got hired full time with me, which I was so excited about. Like Jake texted me. Well, she came back to do this one video. We did this sommelier sketch, and that was like January in the middle of her last year in Boston. And it was just so much fun writing that together, and I was like, oh, this would be so much fun to do more of when she graduates, if she moves back to LA. And then in like May of that year, I think we had just finished doing the Dance 2 video with Megan Batoon. Jake was like, hey, what do you think about if we hired like Riley in the same position as you and you guys like did the videos together? And I was so excited because it was like, I think I mean, I don't know how other people feel, but for me, every week was like I was pulling my hair out, being like, this is not funny. Like I'm Jake and Amir are too busy to look over this. I have to come up with something, and I couldn't do it alone as well. So to have someone else doing it and be like a sounding board was way more fun, and I think way more interesting in the long run. Yeah. And I'm way more proud of the videos we did after Riley joined than the ones before. Although there are some ones that I watched for the first time during quarantine, and I was like, I don't even remember doing this.
Any come to mind in particular?
The alphabet one.
That was you.
Oh, and the Amir's new hair. I forgot about that one.
Both pretty choice, to be fair.
Agree to disagree, but it was really fun though. I did all of that throughout college, and I basically set up my schedule in college to only have classes 3 days a week, and then the other 2 days I would be at Headgum. And USC was like so close to the Headgum office, so it was just really worked out. And you know, it was an adventure. And now we don't really do it as much anymore, so which is a bummer, but we shall see.
Yeah, the LA office that you started at closed recently, right?
It did, yeah, and we didn't even get to give it a goodbye, which I was really bummed about. We just had our 5-year anniversary as a company, and I've been there for 4 of them. So like I was just really excited about that, looking forward to it like before the pandemic hit, and I was like we can throw a big thing last party in the office before we have to leave for a new one, and none of that happened. So the virus you were talking about, I just read up on it in between the beginning of the episode and just now. Fucking sucks, man.
Yeah, no.
But the new office is gonna be great. It's gonna be like twice the size, I think, and closer to my house, and so it'll be great.
This is an insane thing to be bringing up now, but it was how I was going to start the show before we did a 45-minute running bit. It didn't make any fucking sense. No, but I was going to say, obviously, like with the pandemic going on and continuous racial injustice in our country, and our president trying to like undermine the very fabric of democracy. Pretty fucking
shit.
Yeah. Sorry.
What's the question?
I haven't said that out loud before. I'm kind of bummed now.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the show.
Are you kidding me? 2 questions, 50 minutes of nonsense, and then you end it on the most depressing note possible.
That's the Alex Hall experience. it's like the Joe Rogan experience, except I'm liberal and pretty depressed. I lack the confidence that he has.
Dude, Joe Rogan rubs me the wrong way so much.
Thank you so fucking much. That feels like a super unpopular opinion that I've held for a long time now. That like,
no, it's unbelievable. It's just, and I hate that he gets the guests that he does. Like Judd
yeah,
Apatow was on, like Pete Holmes went on, and they're talking about
really,
like the alpha brain thing. I'm like, it's
the carnivore
a
diet
sugar
and
pill.
shit.
Yeah, and like he said some things that I agree with, like he supported Bernie
Yeah,
Sanders, and he like
sure.
he said something about, or he had Ben Shapiro on, and he kind of put him in his place. But it's always in this like holier than thou, like, oh, no one else thinks about it like I do kind of
Yeah,
way.
he
And I'm like,
really
you're not
is like,
smarter than other people, especially not like political academics and
yeah, he's
PSA people who really are on the streets all the time. You're just like in your comfy mansion in Hidden Hills all the time, wherever the
holy
fuck.
shit, go off. Absolutely go off. You snapped. This
He's
is my
also
first clip.
bald, which is like kind of funny in a way because he can't grow the hair that you and I
Yeah,
can. These Goldilocks in a way.
that's awesome. Oh shit, I almost said your line. You're like patented. That was the one thing I told myself I wasn't gonna do, is say that's awesome, dude. Because that would be the most hack shit imaginable. But no, I I appreciate you mentioning that, because there's never a conversation I thought I was gonna have, like especially with you of all people.
Right.
But I think very much so the best way to describe him is like, he's what like dumb people think a smart person is.
Exactly.
And like, I don't know, my biggest issue with him has always been, because like you said, like there are, just by like pure chance almost, there are times when I agree with him,
Right.
but like
By pure chance.
I I think it's so fucking insane to be able to have like Bernie Sanders and Ben Shapiro on the same podcast in the space of a month and somehow
Yeah.
agree with both of them like the whole time. I like I don't really, I don't know, like the whole Ben Shapiro, like Jordan Peterson crowd. Like
Yeah.
I'm very much so not about it, but like even if you are, that's like fine, but I just don't see how you can like agree with those people but then also bring on like well-informed academics with like
Yeah.
interesting well-researched opinions. I don't know, it seems like a big like tonal
Some people
disconnect.
really live in a very different echo chamber than you and I live. If you're living in liberal Oregon, and not that the
Yeah,
state is liberal entirely, but in the.
much more so than other places for sure. And also there's just like, even like, I think it's different, like when even like 20, even like 10 years ago, the internet was a lot less like, well, I don't know, I mean like the amount of like echo chambers, like you said, I think has been pushed like kind of to the forefront with things like Reddit and other like
Yeah.
larger forum groups with like incels and that kind of shit. I think like, I don't know, I think it's very very easy for especially like insecure white men who already like have their kind of fucked up ideas about why their life isn't the way they want it to be. I think it's very easy for them to fall down a rabbit hole,
Oh,
like
definitely. Just be
easier than
like
ever
absolutely
probably.
validated on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I just wrote this sample pilot, just as something to do during
Are
quarantine,
you
and
casting, or just real quick? I need
it's not
more.
going to be made. Obviously, it's not going to be made.
So yeah, go ahead. Lead
Um,
into it.
I got, but I have this mentor group within the Writers Guild that they do, where you can like, and we set up this reading group. This is so much information, you can cut this out.
No.
But basically, a friend read the script, and there was one scene that I was also kind of like, I think this could come off the wrong way, and he was like, maybe this guy shouldn't try to like break up this girl with her boyfriend, because it seems a little like in r/nice guys thing. And I was like, yep, no, that was my exact worry, and you confirmed it, so I will change it. But I didn't even know that subreddit existed, and when I looked at it, I was horrified.
Yeah, it was like staring at a mirror, right?
Absolutely. For me, I finally realized the error of my ways, and realized that I'm not a virgin because of other people. I'm a virgin
Yeah,
because of what I say. I kind of rub people the wrong way.
that's a breakthrough. I'm actually proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Um, fuck. What else? What else?
What else?
No, but I was gonna say with review doing super well from my perspective. I feel like people have been really responsive to it, and same with the Headgum podcast. Um, do you have, I guess, just in a general sense, because you do so many things as far as writing, acting, podcasting now. Um, what is your like ultimate aspiration with all of this, like within Headgum and beyond?
Wow, that's a really good question.
Holy shit. I pulled it
uh,
out.
I feel so weird like talking about myself like this, but
It's an
yeah,
interview show.
I know it's just I haven't done like something like this ever. Uh,
Holy shit.
Within Headgum, I'd like to just keep growing review, and we've increased our listenership a little bit the past 2 months, and we want to keep that going, and the network's helping us like grow our numbers. I guess a tangible goal with it is to like take it on the road and do like we're actually thinking of doing a West Coast mini tour if we hit a certain numbers of doing Portland, San Francisco, LA. So if we do Portland and you want to drive
I'll
up,
fucking be there, bud. Of course.
So yeah, like eventually make or increase our listenership enough to like do live shows and to make a more solid living off of it. At this point, it's kind of more like supplemental income slash just like pays the rent, but nothing more.
Right.
Which is not why I went into comedy, you know, like I'm fine to have a day job and do it, but you know, that's the ultimate goal, to just to have more options, like you said, to like pursue other stuff. I think that I'd like to bring the videos back. I know everybody's been bummed that, not everybody, but the people who watch the videos were bummed that they kind of fell by the wayside. But our thinking was like, how many sketches can you do over Zoom?
Yeah, it's kind of
before
like
it gets stale.
It limits your premises very like.
Yeah, and we did 4, and after that, by the 4th one, I was like, this is not
even
like,
the snacks
good.
One was like a stretch, like just to get it there. I mean, it was good, but like, why was he zooming in?
Exactly.
But
so I think my thinking is that we'll my hope is, and I haven't talked to Riley explicitly about this or anybody, so you know, this is just an idea, is that when we get into the new office in the new year, we'll bring them back more semi-regularly, more with an emphasis on Day in the Strife, because we really were excited about that series and didn't even really get to do more than 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And I'd like to include more podcasters on the network in the videos as well, because that used to be a big draw for them, and we kind of stopped inviting them to do it. So yeah, that's what I want to do at Headgum. And then outside of Headgum, would love to write for a show, and just, you know, keep auditioning for stuff. I've been auditioning for shows for like 2 years and haven't gotten anything other than 1 commercial.
I can relate to that. Recently didn't hear back from Stranger Things season 4, so
oh fuck
yeah. My last audition was, you ever seen the show American Vandal?
Yeah,
I had an in-person audition for that.
That's awesome.
Bombed it, obviously, but
like, do you live in LA full time?
No, they were casting in Portland for season 2 of American Vandal.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that is one of my.
Do you have an agent?
I have a company I go through. It's not like an individual. It's like the Seattle Talent Network or some shit.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's very like, yeah, it's fine. They do an okay job. They give me opportunities.
They gave you 2 Netflix auditions. That's pretty big.
Yeah. I mean, it's no mobile game show, but it's something, I guess.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, and then I'm writing my own stuff, just trying to get staffed again. Right. I wrote for Carpool Karaoke for a bit, but it was like, I think on its last legs. I don't know if I should talk about it too much, but yeah, I have no idea what's going on with it. So they haven't aired my episodes at all either. So
really?
Sucks. Yeah, I only worked there for like half a year. And then,
how many episodes did you write on? Do you know?
I think 3 or 4. But anyway,
that is a pretty like huge opportunity though. Like, congrats for that. I mean, even if it doesn't see the light of day, just the fact that you were given that opportunity. I mean, obviously, people are starting to see the merit that all your adoring fans see.
I don't know about that, but it was a great opportunity, and I was very grateful for it, and it was fun. The people there were great.
That's kind of, yeah, I think with any with anything like that, it's very, I don't know. I spent a lot of time around actors when I was, a little bit younger, because right out of high school, I was like very much so like, I'm gonna do this, like I'm gonna make it. And
Yeah.
then I realized it's not easy and it's not practical, and I have to get a job and go to school and shit. But yeah, no, I think like as much as like working with other creatives can be a pretty difficult process sometimes, when you find people that you click with, um, it is one of the best feelings. And that, we will wrap this up soon. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but that did remind me of something else I wanted to ask. How early on into like working with Riley did you sort of realize that you had the sort of comedic connection that you guys have been building on these past few years?
I would say during the or 2017, that whole summer, that group of interns was just like unbelievably close and fun. Like that was the best year of my life. I tell my therapist that all the time. I'm like, I need to get back to 2017
Yeah.
vibes. And
You should
she's like, well, let's not
intern
think
at
about it like
fucking
that. And I was like,
Earwolf.
no, let's really regress. Um,
Yeah.
but we also keep in touch still. John George was one of those
Hmm.
interns, and he's been in a couple videos, and he has a podcast himself. Shout out to Big Boy Movies. Um, but I don't know if it was that summer because I think we all just clicked, so I didn't think that there was anything like specifically special between me and Riley other than just like a friendship. But then, yeah, when she came back and we did the sommelier video, that was when I was
Hmm.
like, oh, this is like we get each other. Um, and so yeah, I think it's like it's a really nice partnership to have, and we like support each other through our other outside endeavors as well. She definitely has aspirations beyond Headgum, and so do I. She's on a show that's going to be on one of MGM's networks. I don't know which one yet, but
Oh
they've
shit.
already shot 2 seasons. So that was another reason why we kind of slowed down on the videos, was that she was shooting that show for like almost a semester, and then I was on carpool. So it was just really we were block shooting them in fours, and it was just became pretty difficult. So life gets in the way in a certain regard. But I think even if we end the videos, we'll always have review, and we'll always do the Headgum live shows that we do in LA. So it just kind of felt like a great fit, and she's the best.
Uh, I heard you guys were considering starting up a Patreon. Is that at the stage that it's worth plugging right now, or
Not yet, but I would
no?
just uh yeah, it's in the works. We have some really fun ideas, and that's kind of gonna help cover the other half, ideally, of expenses.
Yeah,
Which
it really seems like even like some of my favorite bands have been getting Patreons lately. It seems like just to make a living as a creative, you have to find like so many different like streams of income.
Yeah, and because you never know what's gonna happen. Or like carpool paid really well, and I was like getting very comfortable and not being the smartest
Yeah,
with money, and
Laurel Canyon.
yeah, and rented an Airbnb for a sketch with my own personal money, and stupid stuff like that. Threw a big Halloween party because it was the first time I was like making a lot of money,
Great
but
Gatsby style.
ended after 6 months, and I only had a few more months of rent to show for it, which were helpful during a global pandemic. But yeah, that's a
Right.
great lesson to take, is even if you're making a lot of money, only spend what you were spending before.
Yeah.
But because yeah, it can go away like that, because they signed me to like a 3-year contract, so I was like, I'm fucking set, man, like 50 weeks out of the year, like whatever. But yeah, that's why it's also like the Patreon, that'll never be taken away from us.
Mhm.
That won't be a job that, or a show that gets canceled, or even
Yeah.
if Headgum, if review doesn't hit these numbers, like, Headgum is also growing, and I actually cut that out. Never mind.
Okay. Okay.
Um, like basically, like, I don't want to be a burden to the network, so that's why we need to grow the show as well.
Yeah.
Cut that out too. But yeah, just being, I think Patreon. My point is that Patreon offers people's artists stability
Hmm.
where they historically have had none.
Yeah. Did you hear that shit recently about how like the Spotify CEO or whatever was saying how he wants artists to double down on like creation in quarantine. Like, dude, they're already making fucking pennies on the squalor, and you're gonna ask them to put out 2 albums a season.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is like it costs money to put things out.
Yeah, of course, like
Like
distribution and
yeah, and so like you know, it's not only is it an opportunity for us to have financial stability, but it's also a chance for us to put out content that we can't put out if we need a second job, you know.
yeah.
Like I also work at Headgum in content development. So and you know that's my day job as it were.
Mm-hmm.
And Riley has a day job where she proofreads scripts and gets paid for that. So it's like if we have a Patreon, maybe she doesn't have to do that, and maybe I don't have to spend as much time on the content side of things, and we can spend more time putting out, you know, content rather than, you know, content.
Right. You recently got a promotion in that side of things, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, after I left Carpool, I went to Jacob Muir and I was like, hey, is there anything else I can be doing? Like,
Yeah.
and so they were like, yeah, we need help coming up with some new podcast ideas and reaching out to talent. So I am just helping them find their next slate of podcasts, which I think we've found, and they're going to be out in the next month or two. So
Yeah,
that's
you've
really
been
exciting.
name
There's some
dropping them
right.
inappropriately
Absolutely.
throughout all the all the Headgum podcasts.
Yeah, there were people speculating on the subreddit of what names I was saying. I
Mm-hmm.
won't confirm if they were right or wrong, but I was just like, oh, I should stop doing this.
God. Uh, well, I think, believe it or not, I think that's the fucking show, dude. I really do. I know it's hard to believe. I just feel guilty about taking any more
I
of your
can't
time.
believe that I'm saying this, but this is
Yeah,
the show.
this is it. This is what we got.
I hope that your next guest makes it a little bit more, whatever the audio version of legible is.
Oh my god. No, genuinely though, thank you so much.
No, this was great.
I know this was just one long bit kind of, but like it was really really nice having you on, and you know, I think with obviously how bleak of a fucking timeline we're all living in right now, I think entertainment, and especially comedy, is one of the most valuable things that anyone can provide people. And for me and for thousands of others, you do it better than anyone. So thank you for all the laughs, and thank you for giving me the time of day.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Again, undeserved, but I appreciate it. I'm glad that anybody gives a shit.
On that note, that's a very good fucking forward for how the rest of this podcast is going to go for me, is
Right.
just begging people to give a shit. And, you know what? I think we're well on our fucking way. I really
Absolutely.
do.
And
Great
it never
start.
changes. You can have 100,000 listeners and you're still begging people to give a shit.
Before I let you go, is there anything you want to plug? You've more than earned it for tolerating my rat ass for the past hour and a half.
Ditto. Yeah, I have a podcast, as we said, with Riley Enspa on the Headgum Network called Review. I also host basically it's the talk show hosted by the worst host in the world, yours truly, called the Headgum Podcast on the Headgum Network. And you can find me on Instagram at I am Geoffrey James, and on Twitter at Don't Play No James. See, I've gotten really good at this because we have to do this at the end of every episode that we do.
Yeah, sorry I blacked out. I thought I was just listening to fucking
The ramblings of a
review.
madman.
Oh yeah, it's the sort of message you'd find smeared
Right.
on a wall or otherwise.
Me doing any kind of press, whether it's this or an interview, it's always a smear campaign, but it's on my own name.
I'm bullying myself. I'm trying to get canceled.